Okay, I think that, cut my head off here. I think that maybe we're not gonna get terrific response here this afternoon because it's only been a week, so let's just get going, not waste everybody's time here. I'm not exactly sure what happened at the control room yesterday because, everybody in Washington County got a note saying the thing was canceled, and so none of us went on, and they turned out and had their control room an hour later. None of us got a message to say that, come on at 3 o'clock. So I know what you know about what happened yesterday, which was that we've got a whole bunch of phase 4 guidance out there, and where our numbers are such that we can anticipate going into phase 4 when we're supposed to. But the governor put out an order saying that certain of our things we're not going to be allowed to open in phase 4. Malls, museums, that sort of thing. The malls are really kind of upsetting, not from a Washington County perspective, obviously, but from just a general living perspective, it seems kind of funny. But nevertheless, that's, when we actually get on the control room today, we'll talk about it. Tim just pointed out to me that the governor's put out a verbal thing mandating that travelers that have been in a number of other states, 6 or 7 of them, have a mandatory 14-day quarantine when they come back to New York. Fortunately, it wasn't Vermont, because I was in Vermont day before yesterday and I had to be quarantined. I couldn't even be here. So I guess Vermont's not on the list, but a whole bunch of other ones are. We'll probably see something written on that in a week or so. Who knows? Beyond that, we've heard of no real problems with the phase 3. There are still a bunch of hoops we're jumping through with people trying to get their plans done and that sort of thing. And people are still gravely paranoid that they do a plan and no one's reviewing it and telling them if it's okay or not. And I understand that, but that's just the way it is at this point in time. And that's not just businesses, that's our youth commissions and everything else. So beyond that, I guess unless there's questions for me on that, I'd go around the room again and see if we've got problems and issues, and if not, maybe wait a couple of weeks. Matt, you got anything? You heard anything?
No, the only questions I've been getting are, I assume we're still on track that phase 4 will start, I think it's next Wednesday?
Yep.
Is that the case? I'm assuming so. And the second set of questions is, what is not included, and is there a phase 5, et cetera? We don't have the answers of these things. These are the questions I'm getting.
And that's the questions I keep taping them out. I have asked that 2 or 3 times. What is there life after phase 4, or is phase 4 it? And it's kind of like the phase 1 and 2, where we get, yes, you're in phase 1, but it's going to be another day, later or a week later or something that you can do these other things, and there's all kinds of stream of consciousness stuff happening.
I guess the other questions that came up were, it's 25 people inside and 150 people outside. Those are the limits at the moment? Is that what we understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
And with some of the other things, it's the percentage of what your full occupancy is.
Oh, okay.
Daryl.
Yeah, that's kind of summarizes everything. I know from a business perspective, everybody's doing their best to meet the mandates, screening questionnaires, social contact tracing, and all the other preventative measures that we're talking about with sanitation and sanitation logs. So a lot of businesses are doing their best. And as you said, is there ever a potential of being audited and having your plan audited, and nobody really understands that yet, and the liability associated with it? I guess we'll be plowing new ground when we go there. As far as capacity goes, from a town perspective, we're gonna open up everything into phase 4 with those restrictions that we know of for capacity, and other than that, continue with the same protocols that we're using now going forward, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I didn't mention on the county level, we're doing pretty well with, although some of the supervisors, including myself, have waltzed right by the read your own temperature thing on the way in, but I'll get that better next time. But other than, some issues at DMV, which people are understandably wildly frustrated over, trying to register their used cars so they can go to work and things like this, it's pretty tough, and we're going to wind up having to station a deputy over there for a few days, but it should work its way out. We'll see. Laura.
So just to convey to you, from what I'm reading, one of the governor's senior advisors started tweeting on Wednesday that there is not going to be another phase after phase 4, that because of the concerns from what's happening in other states, that what they're going to do is take it industry at a time, week at a time, as opposed to an entire phase with specific rules. So it'd be interesting to see if that's confirmed. The other thing that I have some concern about, they have listed some of the rules that are related to, what the occupancy is, et cetera, in phase 4. There's an indication that all employers in phase 4 have to do daily health screening. If that's the case, I can see that causing some problems with existing open businesses as to if they have to do health screening, or, why do they and not us, et cetera. But as of right now, from what I'm reading, they're going to have to do, phase 4 businesses are going to have to do daily health screening, as well as the plan and all of the rest of the stuff that has happened in earlier phases. So it'd be good to get some clarification on that.
Daily health screening, like we're doing here, fill out the questionnaire and take your temperature?
All it says is health screening assessments of workers every day to make sure no one is sick or showing coronavirus symptoms. Those who are sick must be sent home and encouraged to get tested for coronavirus.
Okay, so it's kind of the keeping the
That's
logs.
why I'm not sure. I'd like clarification would be good. Okay. I'm guessing.
All right.
But, yeah.
All right, I'll ask that, assuming they have the call today.
Yeah. And just for everybody's information on the call, we normally have several film crews in the county doing, Amazon films or whatever they might be. They typically have ended up mostly in the northern part of the county. From what I understand from Andrew, we don't have anybody waiting to get permission to film, but we've had a couple of inquiries. So, I'm monitoring that because all of the guidance to phase 4 is relevant to filming. So this is just an FYI, we don't have anybody waiting, but we have had some inquiries, and we typically do have filming over the summer.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Tim or Glenn, you got something?
Nope, nothing. Businesses with any needs for cloth face masks or hand sanitizers, still reach out to our office. We'll coordinate and make sure we get those out. We've been handling a bunch of those as of late. Other than that, we're just trying to keep everybody stocked with as much as we can going forward. Certainly, we're encouraging everybody now that we're at a lull, at least in our area, in the numbers, to start working on acquiring your own PPE for the future if we do have a second round. Our numbers of anything other than those couple of things are getting pretty low on the stockpile, and the state has stopped pushing out stuff as of right now with the numbers where they are. So we never know what they're going to have available or not have available. So now it's definitely the time to start looking to acquire things as the prices come down a little bit and things are a little easier to get.
Okay, that's probably really good advice for our businesses. Rebecca, you got anything?
No, we're kind of closely watching the guidelines. We have 2 events that are still on the calendar, our antique show in August and our Woolen Arts Fest at the end of September. We are optimistically watching to see if we could possibly have those with the 33% capacity. I'm kind of looking to see how that's calculated. Because obviously we have, you know, acreage wise, we have quite a bit of space to spread people out, but I just need to get kind of clarification on how that's going to work. Other than that, we are just waiting with bated breath to see if State Fair is going to get shut down or if we're going to need to take a trip to Syracuse.
You and everybody else, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we lost 3 more county fairs today. So we're down to, there is, I believe, 6 left out of 50. So, and there's some of them that will not come back next year. So it's a pretty big hit to our culture and frankly to the economy in New York State as a whole. So we're hopeful that the state will at least, you know, after shutting us down, will give us some support. I'm not going to hold my breath though.
Okay. Tony Jordan, got anything?
The only thing, we finally got permission to start grand jury, which is significant on many levels, not so much for this group, but at least it's a start in a direction for courts. So, and county courts up and running, local courts on a very limited basis.
Okay. I guess that's good news. Who else is on there? Cassie Pedler? Looks like her phone number. Are you there, Cassie?
I'm here.
Got anything you want to bring to the group?
Nope, that's the benefit of being last. Everybody already asked my questions.
Okay. All right. I got one more thing that says iPhone, Tim. Is that? Anybody else I missed? Okay. Apparently not. How do you want to do this? I think that we might have some significant issues when Phase 4 starts just because of the stream of consciousness stuff that goes on. However, I'm a little bit reluctant to just go ahead and schedule a meeting because, you know, like this, we don't really have, you know, we probably could have done this one with an email. You want to leave it up to me and decide if things start changing rapidly enough of you guys have called that we can call one. I think if we're doing it this way, we could call it with a couple of days' notice probably, and it wouldn't be that big a problem for you. Would that be all right, or do you want to schedule one?
I'm good with that. I would think that you're the one who's hearing the information, and if you think there's things that need to be conveyed, then yeah, I'd love to hear them, but just to have a meeting if there isn't anything new, you know, unless somebody has something from the other side to convey. I agree with that.
Okay, well, we can keep pushing stuff out with email too.
Yep.
Okay. I guess we're done. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bob.
I'll be
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
We'll be in touch.
I did have another question, Bob.